Hey guys, welcome back to Relentless Talk Radio. This is episode 78 of Relentless Talk Radio, and I'm here for segment 3, which is the entrepreneurism segment with Mike Hathcote, the owner of Mike Hathcote Media. I'm super excited. Mike and I met, it's got to be almost 10 years ago now, right?
It is. It is actually almost exactly 10 years ago at GoDaddy, yeah.
Yeah, we used to work at GoDaddy, and Mike, I had just been promoted to a different part of the call center, and Mike was my trainer.
Yep.
I remember that. And I remember thinking then, God, that guy's got a really cool voice.
Well, yeah. Luckily these days, in voiceover, you don't necessarily have to have a good voice to be good at it. So.
Well, good point. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name's Mike Hathcote. I am a voiceover artist, voiceover actor, whatever you want to call that. I do voiceovers for commercials, for e-learning, for narration, audiobooks, IVR systems. IVR just stands for interactive voice response, which is telephone stuff.
Right.
Press 1 for sales, 2 for support, that kind of thing.
Right.
And I've done a couple of little video game things. I mean, just pretty much anything that you can think of where there's a disembodied voice that you're hearing. That's what we do. That's
so awesome. And it's been wonderful to watch you. First, you started off in the call center at GoDaddy, and you ended up on the corporate side of the business. You did really well moving through the ranks at GoDaddy. I was proud of you for that. And then when you made the decision to leave GoDaddy, you started this, and you've been doing really great with it. So congratulations. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful to watch your trajectory as your friend and colleague. So that's really awesome. So why voiceovers? I mean, I know the obvious reasons. You really have an awesome voice, but I mean, why?
Well, I actually, back in the 90s, I started in radio because I thought at that point that was where I kind of wanted to take my career. And then I had a chance to go off and do the skateboard thing. And so I would work.
You're an avid skateboarder.
Yeah.
With multiple broken bones.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
I was saying, I commented on Jorge's thing where I need to go do that oxygen therapy for my, 12 now broken bones.
Well, it's 12. And I didn't see that comment come through. I definitely would have put up there. Yeah, you've had 12 broken bones.
Yeah.
Dude, you actually, I guess we can talk about this for a second. You converted, and God bless your wife, you converted your pool into a skateboard park. Yeah. And I've been at your house on several occasions and witnessed the mayhem that's happening in your pool in your backyard.
Yep.
Both from the main floor and from the balcony above.
Right.
And I'm super impressed by the magic that you guys create. But you have broken 12 bones.
Yep. And I didn't break my first bone until I was 25.
And then you made up for lost time. Yeah. You've been like a broken bone like every 2 weeks or something,
well,
right?
It seems like it, but yeah, it's my bones don't bend anymore; they break. So
they break. Yeah,
it is what it is, though. You got to pay to play.
12 broken bones, dude. Yeah. So it's probably the voiceovers are a much safer way for you to go than the skateboarding thing.
Yeah, it is. But like I was saying, I started in radio in the 90s, and then I had the chance to go off and do the skateboarding thing just because I figured I might as well do that while my body could do it, at that level. And then fast forward, to working at GoDaddy and stuff, and I started kind of thinking about this again. And started kind of tinkering with a little bit, kind of a side hustle. And then I decided in 2017 that I was just going to jump and do it. And so I wish I'd done it 10 years earlier, or maybe even more. Because I love
funny how I remember when I left GoDaddy, I got a position with the North Scottsdale Chamber of Commerce right out of the gate, and then basically was tossed into entrepreneurism. I was like an entrepreneur by force, not by choice. Yeah. And I remember us going to the movies a couple times and just being like, dude, how are you being brave enough to do that? And I said, I got no choice, dude. Like, I can't get hired anywhere.
I got bills to pay.
You've always been very conservative with, as most people are, with just where the money's coming from and that security. So I really love to hear, I'm like, yay, I love to hear you say I should have done this 10 years sooner because, when you're working for someone else, you're trading time for money and it's somebody else's money. You're getting a smidgen of it. But when you're trading time for money and creating residual income in your own business, you're creating wealth for yourself.
Right.
And I don't think you really get it's the same activity. You're working and producing, but in one case scenario, some other entity is getting the real benefit of what you're doing.
That's right.
And in this case scenario, you're getting the benefit.
That's
Did
right.
have you picked up on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can only make, yeah, well, you can only make so much money working for somebody else. And so I've already surpassed my GoDaddy income. And so, yeah, so I mean, it's, you know, you can work as hard or as not hard as you want. And I typically am a hard worker, so it's just paid off.
You are a super hard worker.
But it was scary.
Oh yeah, because you're stepping away from security.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that COVID has taught us is, number one, I touch my face a lot. I've noticed that a lot. I'm a face toucher, and I got to stop that. But I also think that COVID has taught us that there's no such thing as security.
Oh yeah.
And that creating your own wealth is really where it's at.
Well, the last 3 months for me in voiceover have been the busiest, most lucrative months in my entire voiceover career.
And that makes me so excited to hear. And I love that you're saying that, because sometimes we think that we focus on the bad of what's happening with COVID, and there's a plethora of it. Okay. Yep. But there are some businesses, like, for example, Zoom.
Yep. They're killing it right now.
Zoom had 160% growth.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Disney movie channel just literally like blew out the goal that was set for 3 years ago before, in like the first 2 months. So, you know, it's important to remember that sometimes change is good. And for your business, absolutely, because people are doing more online training, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because people are, definitely doing more, computer-based training. They're doing advertisements. I mean, if I have to say the phrase "in these unprecedented times," again, I mean, there's just a lot of that kind of stuff, you know. We're all in this together, you know, all the little catchphrases that have come up over the last few months. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I've done really well in the last 3 months, and hopefully that'll continue.
That's really awesome. Makes me happy. So
Thanks.
Is that one of the biggest lessons that you've learned? I mean, I can't wait to hear what the biggest lesson you've learned is in being in business. What is that?
Don't be afraid to jump.
No shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Because if you've got the passion for it, if you've got the drive and the skills, I mean, the skills are a big piece of it. You know, I mean, there's a lot of training involved. I mean, if any business that you want to open, there's going to be an investment of time, money, training, but don't be afraid to do it if you truly have the wherewithal to actually hit it hard every day and just make it happen. And so that's what I've been trying to do and will continue to do.
Well, your work ethic has always been, there's two things we have in common. One is our work ethic, and the other thing is, like, you're super duper organized.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like if when I walk into your house or any place you ever, everything has got a place.
You can say anal. You can say anal retentive if you want to.
You know, and I was just at a friend's house yesterday, and I opened up the refrigerator, and I looked in there. I'm like, oh no. And I just had to face everything and get everything so you could see what's happening. It's just the way we are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. So we have that in common. But I think that creating commercials is really about organizing information and creating organization with your voice. I think that what you do organizationally in your world is very similar to what you do with the voiceover thing. Am I wrong about that?
No, that's right. And you were talking about having a good voice and everything. And yes, that it's nice if you've got a nice sounding voice.
Right.
But we can't all sound like Morgan Freeman or Sam Elliott or somebody with a very recognizable voice. In the voiceover industry, it really just boils down to, can you be believable? Can you be authentic and believable? Doesn't matter what you sound like what your voice tone sounds like. Can you make somebody click something or learn something or be entertained? If you can do any of that, or buy something, obviously, you're in the club, period. Don't have to have a special voice to do it.
You know, as you're talking, I'm thinking about Anthony Robbins and how he talks about cursing. You ever heard his cursing?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, Google cursing Anthony Robbins,
Yeah.
and he talked about how sometimes people won't hear you unless you don't curse.
Well, yeah.
You know, that they hear you differently when you curse. You know what I mean? Like it makes them stop. Wait a minute, he just said the F word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you ever go to an Anthony Robbins thing, he really has a mouth like a sailor. You know what I mean? And I definitely incorporate cursing into the things that I do too. But it's about, you know, sometimes, not always, it's when appropriate. I think that it's about being believable.
Yeah, it's showing your true emotion. I mean, you know, you do that just to get your point across and make people kind of perk up and listen. You know, obviously, you can't do that in most commercials, but I mean, yeah, it's just about making people, keeping people engaged. And you know, like I said, whether it's an e-learning course where you have to make sure. I mean, we've all been through e-learning courses that are snooze fests, right?
Can we talk for a second about? I was talking earlier in the early episode about my training for Edward Jones.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Edward Jones, I'm going to throw you under the bus on this one. The chick who did the training.
Yeah.
I remember the guy that I was seeing at the time was like, oh my God. I had to listen to her for like just a ridiculous amount of time. And she had the most annoying, shall we say, regional accent. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It was, right. And it was literally, I think it's part of the reason why I gained at least 30 of the 45 pounds that I gained. I was just trying to I was just eating carbs, trying to tolerate her voice.
Trying
I mean,
to
it was
stay awake.
like nails on a chalkboard. It was just droning and awful. So yeah, I love what you're saying about the quality of your voice and the believability of it being important.
Yeah, you got to keep them awake in that kind of a situation. Yeah.
So we're talking about creating sticky goals this week. And in my personal live this week, I do a Monday morning mindset on my personal profile. I talked about the how you create sticky goals. And this morning I talked about the why you create sticky goals. So give me one sticky goal, how you created it and why you created it.
Well, I mean, I've had a bunch over the years. I mean, I'm a natural entrepreneur by nature, but
I've been telling you that for almost a decade.
I know.
I am just getting like, I am just so happy having this conversation today. I love it. Good.
You've been proven correct. But anyway, I've had a bunch, but yeah, the one that I'm working on right now is I want to get onto the streaming platforms for VO. So like Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, the ads that come on there. I want to get on staff. That's kind of my main goal right now that I've been working towards. And obviously the reason why is because that is a nationwide platform. I mean,
it's an ongoing residual stream of income that will like sustain you for a huge period of time. So that's interesting. I love that you told me that, because one of my goals this year with Relentless Talk Radio is to get all of the 250 plus episodes that I've done over the past 7 years onto podcast.
Oh yeah.
So as I'm digging around in there, I will, now that I know that you're looking to grow in that area, I will for sure, you know me, keep my feelings out for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is a sticky goal for you. So the how and the why of it.
Well, the how is, well, let me start with the why. The why would be because it's obviously more exposure. And you just said that, it's kind of a residual type of income that, when you're on one of those rosters, they just feed you scripts, boom, boom, boom.
You get royalties and you get scripts and royalties moving forward, right?
Right. So there's that. Plus, but as far as the how, it's really just about trying over and over and over again. You have to be relentless. Ding.
Right.
But you have to be just like, you just have to keep at it, trying to work your network to try to find the right person to kind of get an in and get in the door and that kind of stuff. And so I've got a few leads. In fact, I've got Pandora has actually expressed some interest. I'm not in the door yet, but I'm knocking on that door right now. So we'll see.
I love that you're bringing up the idea of networking as it relates to a sticky goal, because when you have a sticky goal that's attached to your why and your mission, then everything you do is about opening up that door in a certain area. It's ongoing. It's always in the background. Like I've got these sticky goals. And so therefore when I'm meeting people, there's a good person for me to align with. It's just always in the background so that every person that you meet. And I just spoke with Gelly Alkenblatt, who's the owner of Networking Phoenix. She's going to be coming on. I had one episode left in the whole year. She'll be coming on the last episode in December, talking about the power of networking. And when you have a sticky goal, you could be, I can't think of an example right now, but I've been out in the world in a completely unrelated situation and met, so for example, the owner of Send Out Cards, Cody Bateman, he invited me to be on his podcast. He's friends with my great friend, Jordan Adler. I'm a Send Out Card user and an associate. And so we're talking, and Cody is a biker, as in motorcycles. And I'm going to be riding through Salt Lake City. So at the very least, I'm going to be stopping in to see Cody and hopefully doing a little ride. But, you know, just everything about creating my goal of lifting people up and encourage them to discover their best, and using my motorcycle as one of the mediums for it, allows me to connect with somebody like Cody in a way that I hadn't expected if I didn't have those sticky goals there.
That's right.
So you always have these things in the background that, you know, depending upon what you're doing, will attach you to a particular goal. So good for you.
Thanks. Yeah.
So we two things you want to talk about. We didn't get real clear about that pre-interview, but is there anything that you have coming up that you want to tell us about?
I do. Let's see. Well, I mean, I'm just kind of day in, day out. I mean, right at this point, but one thing that I would say is that if you are interested in maybe pursuing voiceover work, like I said, pretty much anybody can do it. And it's something you can do from home. In fact, because I also do voiceover career coaching. And so for anybody who kind of wants to get into it, I can kind of help you kind of transition, you know, into that space. But especially now with COVID and stuff, it's a job that you can do from home. I mean, my commute is about 10 feet.
You're actually in the closet right now.
Yes, I'm in the closet. Well, it's my office. Yeah. So yeah, you don't need a bunch of money to kind of get started at it, you know, in it and stuff. And the barrier to entry is very low. But within, you know, this is a job that obviously you can do from home or from anywhere, really. I've done stuff in hotel rooms. I've recorded at my parents' house by building like a pillow blanket fort just to make it deaden the sound and stuff. So anyway, if that's something that people are either interested in doing on a full-time basis or even as a side hustle to make some ends meet, then hit me up.
Love it. So I have your website going, scrolling in the bottom here, MikeHathcote.com. So it's Hathcote is HATHCOTE.com, MikeHathcote.com. So folks can reach out to you if they have a voiceover need.
Absolutely.
And I think there's a lot of people that didn't realize I had a voiceover need until COVID. So
that's true.
Yeah. And if they ask for the Relentless special, you'll treat them extra special, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and also, if you're looking for a side gig or a side hustle, you can reach out to Mike for some coaching on voiceovers, which is I'm really glad that we touched on that.
Yeah.
So Mike, I gotta say, I'm super duper flipping proud of you, dude.
Thanks.
I really am.
Well, I'm proud of you too, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You know, the Relentless thing has worked out in our favor.
Absolutely.
So thanks a lot for coming on Relentless Talk Radio today, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you and your beautiful wife soon.
My pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Try not to break any flipping bones.
Hey, don't jinx it.
Asking too much, right? I mean,
right. Just don't jinx it. Okay.
How long has it been since you broke something? When was the last time you broke something?
Almost a year. I broke my radius. In fact, I don't know if you can see the scar there.
Yeah.
I broke that bone twice last year, the same bone. Once in April and once in August, same bone. So that was it. That was the last one.
That was the last one, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Michael, it was really good to see you. Thanks for coming on Relentless Talk Radio today.
My pleasure. See ya.
See you later. All right, guys, that's the end of episode 78 of Relentless Talk Radio. Come back again next week where I'll be talking to 2 more Relentless rock stars. You know, I never know who they're going to be until the week before. Sometimes things change, so I've learned not to let the cat out of the bag too soon. So Relentless Talk Radio every Tuesday from 2:30 to 3:30 during it's Arizona time, which we don't practice daylight saving. So right now it's Pacific Standard Time, and at other times of the year it's Mountain Standard Time. So that's it. Have a good rest of your day, and thanks, Lisa, for watching. See you later, guys.